Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this meeting of the Markets Board. As you're aware, the public element of today's meeting is being live streamed and recorded, and those participating in the meeting have given their consent to their inclusion. The recording will be available on the City Corporation's YouTube channel following the meeting, and it shall be retained for up to 1 civic year, Chairman.
Thank you. Just so you know, if I don't answer your question, it's because I can't hear. I've got completely blocked ears, so my sympathies with Marianne on this one. But I'm hoping that the Deputy Chairman will help me on these difficult things. Don't say what.
Should we turn the air or not?
No, so that's not making a difference.
Apologies have been received from Deputy Nigat Qureshi, Ed Lord, and James Tunbridge in advance of this meeting. Apologies for lateness has been received from Alderman Alison Gowman, and Jason Pritchard and Mark Whitley shall be observing this meeting virtually.
And actually, I think Madhush Gupta has also said his apologies.
And also apologies from Madhush Gupta. Item number 2 on today's agenda is members' declarations under the Code of Conduct in respect of items on the agenda. Do members have anything they wish to declare?
Chairman, I'd like to declare I've got dispensation to speak on all matters. Thank you.
Thank you. That's well noted.
Moving on to agenda item 3, public minutes, to agree the public minutes and non-public summary of the meeting held on the 15th of May 2025. Do members have any comments?
Are you happy that these are a correct record? And are there any questions that anyone has that are not picked up in the later agenda? Paul.
Chairman, just wonder whether the board should get an update on the annex project in this room. Thank you.
It's a very good question. Mr. Wilkinson.
Wasn't specifically going to provide an update. Obviously, it went to policy.
Do you want to mention that in confidential later on?
Yeah, please. Yes.
Is that all right, Paul?
Yeah.
Wendy, just so you know, and call over, they are still working to the August deadline for the markets. All right.
Moving on to Moving on to agenda item 4, updates from the general managers. This item is for information on pages 13 to 16.
I'm going to assume everyone's read the reports, but any questions for Dan on Smithfield to start with?
Sorry, Jim, just 2 quick points. Thank you very much, Dan. And I must say how pleased the tenants are to see superintendent active at night during the market working hours. It's a big breath of fresh air. Firstly, on the staffing issue, 2 resignations. Do we normally carry out post-resignation interviews, and did we get any feedback? Have we had them? And then secondly, disappointing from the tenant's point of view, especially because of the high risk through avian flu and cytocosis, that the bird netting hasn't been cleaned for 2 years. I think the SLA was originally every 6 months that we agreed with them in the previous administration. I just would like to know why. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. So just to deal with the netting, we've got a quote for the netting. I wasn't aware that it's in the agreement to have it done every 6 months. I certainly will review that, but I will certainly be able to update you and the SNTA in the next sort of couple of weeks offline about when that will take place. And forgive me, your first point?
Resignation. Do we do interviews when post-resignation or when staff leave?
There wasn't the opportunity to do a exit interview with the second resignation. Ordinarily, I would offer any person that's resigning the opportunity to have an exit interview.
Anything else for Dan?
Thank you, Chairman. I have a question about staffing, but it might be better in non-public. But I just wanted I noticed that we're still staffing up the markets, Smithfield and Billingsgate, for the next 2 years to run as they've been running. So I see that we're recruiting staff to cover places. But my question might be better in non-public because it's about a staffing member.
If you're happy to wait.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I was going to ask the question about, I know we're using agency workers, and later on in the accounts, there's a significant cost for agency. Obviously, I don't need to tell you. The great thing is if we've got employed members of staff, we cut our cost of the overhead. So,
Chairman, I can provide some commentary. I think it probably is better if we do it in non-public.
anything else for Dan? Okay, thank you. Same thing for Billingsgate. Anything for Julia on this? Julia, I've got one question, which is with the Thames water question. Are we coordinating that across all three markets? It looks from the reports as if you're all operating individually, and given the size of the bonuses paid to Thames Water, I can see that they do this for free.
Thank you, Chair. My understanding is that the offer has been made to all of the markets, and we are coordinating across all three.
Forgive me, I'm new to the committee, so you might have answered this in the past, and there might be a good reason. But in terms of solar panels on Spitalfields in particular, is that possible to help with the energy?
I think you'll get to an item later in the agenda, the energy update, which mentions the solar panels, but there's a feasibility underway.
I forgot to tell you I can't hear either. On Spitalfields, any questions on that? The only request is where it says the Tenants Association priorities. The City of London are currently in the process of completing appointments. Have we actually appointed our agents to enable this to happen?
Paperwork is out at the moment, so it should be completed very shortly. But I've spoken to the agents, and they will field any queries.
So we're
that come
still on
in
target for
shortly.
September 2025.
Well, we hope so. We take this offline with the chairman of the Tenants Association. We haven't actually received a response to the offer for new leases formally yet, and we're waiting on that. But we're ready to deal with it when it comes.
Okay, thank you. Chris, do you want to say?
Yes, when we've got somebody to give the response to, we will obviously be making our position known. We'd like to just make it clear that the lease did actually run out in May 25, and the corporation still have not actually, as far as I know, confirmed that they have the surveyor in place.
Well, whilst true, we would field any query when it came in. The agents are in the background. They're just the ink's not on the contract yet, but we would field any queries that came in. So if you have got a response, it can be channeled to me, and we will respond in the normal way.
Thank you.
That seems very sensible. Thank you. Anything else on new Spitalfields? Okay, thank you.
Moving on to agenda item 5, energy update. This item is for information on pages 17 to 34, and I must apologise on my part since the report author did not receive the invitation for the meeting in time, and herself and her team are currently in other meetings. So any questions shall be noted, and a written response shall be provided to members outside the meeting.
So on that basis, Reese, we're going to ask lots and lots of questions for you to send off. All right.
Only insofar as I'm the lead on climate action, and just to answer Marianne's point, which actually Ben followed up, is that certainly I was in a meeting recently. We were looking at the possibility of using the roof of New Spitalfields Market for photovoltaic cells. So I think that is, in those stages of moving forward at this juncture. So that's really positive. I don't think I can give a running commentary on everything else. I think the report's fairly full, but I'm sure Emma or others would follow up if we needed it.
Just following up what the Alderman just said, but what cost is that? And who's paying for it? Through the chair to Alderman Gowan.
So that's one of the things they're exploring at the moment, but clearly it would be an issue for finding some funding, and then with the savings that would come out of the energy would be put through.
So the tenants wouldn't be paying for it?
I don't know, as I say, at the moment, it's just genuinely, I think there's scoping. They've looked at the feasibility of actually, you know, the physical thing of it. And then now they're starting, we had a meeting, the meeting I attended was with people who might be possible funders. So that's where they're moving forward on it.
So you can't say for definite through the chair. that
I'm
the
not
tenants
responsible for that.
Won't be paying for it.
I think the director wants to make a comment.
Thank you, Chairman. The scheme is around about £6 million that we can see in terms of feasibility, and all signs point towards this being funded externally, and it would be a zero capital spend from the markets because our provider would recoup their money. I think the crucial factor here is that anyone who wants to put money into photovoltaics on behalf of the market wants a 20-year payback. So with a 10-year lease, we don't necessarily get that. Can they then enter into agreement to the tune of about £1 million with the corporation as a sort of, in terms of underwriting? That's something we're exploring just now, but as it stands, there would be no costs to the market.
It's just a question, unless I'm missing something. Who on earth in their right mind would want to do that?
This is their business. This is how they make the money, the capital spend up front, and then with the price of electricity coming back to them, it's their business.
The climate in the country is changing. People's thoughts and opinions on this are changing, and changing very, very quickly.
But remember, when we first looked at the feasibility of photovoltaics at the market, it was for photovoltaics on the CSB units only, the small rectangular buildings at the front of the market, flat roofed. We've extended that beyond to the market hall itself. It's 350,000 square foot of photovoltaics. Yeah, it's a solar farm. You know, it's an exceptional area to be able to cover with photovoltaic cells. They are becoming cheaper to produce. They have a longer life. These companies are making good money out of money up front and recouping their money over the 20-year period.
Couple of questions on this. The first thing I wanted to say, at what price? All our credits and stuff. It must be a base price that all this is based on, and it doesn't seem to appear in how that base price changes over time. That was one thing. And the second thing, on markets, energy and carbon performance, it has some bullet points on factors that may be affecting energy consumption. It mentions a colder year than 23-24, but presumably it's a hotter year too since then. And then it says meter issues. Is that what our monitoring meters in terms of monitoring what energy comes through? It seems a bit odd in this day and age that the meters should be at variance. And then staff turnover. I'm not quite sure whether that increases carbon output or reduces it. So it's not in the bullet points that don't really do anything for me.
So I can answer that, Chairman. The staff turnover was one that I actually queried as well. This was our staff turnover, the loss of knowledge on site, staff leaving things left to run when it was more efficient to have them switched off, and getting to know the equipment to get the most efficient use out of them. That was the idea with staff turnover. Now the staff that we have are up to speed and they know how to use it and utilise it most efficiently. That obviously won't be a problem going forward. In terms of meter issues, I think that's to do with the smart meters and a failure of the meters.
And also, if next time we can have a base price for the unit of cost and how that varies, both for electricity and water, that'd be useful, I think.
And just one other question on that is the greenhouse gas audit was due to take place in mid-June. Do we know actually if that has happened? And if so, what the results were? Or maybe we could have that for the next meeting.
I can bring that to the next meeting.
Thank you. Any other questions on this? Well, hopefully you've got it. Yeah, thank you. With the director's help. Yes.
Okay. Moving on to item number 6, questions on matters relating to the work of the committee. No questions have been received in advance of this meeting. Do members have any questions?
I'm just going to make one comment for the benefit of members, because there was a slight confusion over the meeting at Billingsgate recently, where it is the Tenants Association who very kindly extend the invitations. And I apologise, Chris, to you, because I brought 2 gate crashers to the last meeting, because I issued the invitation to people in the room, for which I apologise that I didn't mention to you before. But we will look at all 3 meetings in conjunction with the associations, because at Billingsgate recently, I think there was slight confusion over who was coming, but also the Lord Mayor definitely seemed to want to move on slightly quicker than perhaps we would have liked. So apologies for not raising it under the minutes, but it will be looked at outside of the meeting to make sure that the right invitations are issued and the right process is followed.
Well, thank you, Chairman, but I didn't, in fact, gate crash.
No. I specifically invited you, but I didn't have the authority to do that.
But I didn't attend anyway.
No. Well, it was great you were there, because I enjoyed my journey back particularly.
Didn't go.
No, you came.
I came to Spitalfields, but not to Billings.
When I was on the committee briefly many years ago, David Smith, the director, used to organise committee visits to the markets for members. I mean, they were early morning. Do you still do those? You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's certainly my last 3 years as chairman, we did. And we had regular, basically mayoral visits, of which we can attend as the chairman and deputy chairman, and member visits, which I opened up to the whole court, and various other members of the court came too. So those hopefully will be diarised in the year ahead.
Moving on to agenda item 7, any other business that the chairman considers urgent? Not aware of any, Chairman. Then moving on to item 8, exclusion of the public. This one's for decision. Thank you. Ask Ken to end the live stream.